Hello students, so this is part 2 of chapter number 12 electricity notes. So we will start from Ohm's law. George Simon Ohm found the relation between the current flowing through a conductor and a potential difference V across the terminals of a conductor using the circuit diagram. He observed that the potential difference and current varied linearly. So you can see in the graph V and I are linearly varied, so a straight line is observed, and he has used a circuit as shown in the figure. Ohm's law, he stated that the electric current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its end under standard temperature and pressure. So V is directly proportional to I, V is equal to IR. So where R is the proportionality constant for the given metal at given temperature and is called resistance. The graph between V and I is always straight line with slope equal to R. Resistance, it is the property of a conductor that opposes the flow of current. It is represented by R and symbol is ohm. Okay. Now SI unit of resistance is ohm. So you need to remember SI unit of resistance is ohm. Now definition of 1 ohm, using this formula V is equal to IR, we know I is equal to V by R. So 1 ohm can be given as the resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm when the potential difference across the conductor is 1 volt and the current flowing through it is 1 ampere. So we get R is equal to V upon I, therefore IR is equal to V. Now rheostat, as we know, we know that V is equal to IR, therefore I is equal to V by R. That shows that the current through conductor resistor is inversely proportional to its resistance. So we can say I is inversely proportional to R and directly proportional to V. So to increase or decrease the current accordingly in the circuit, a component used is called rheostat that regulates the current without changing potential difference, represented by RH. Its symbol you can see on the screen. If a conductor has less resistance, then more current will flow through it using the relation I is equal to V by R. Now factor on which resistance of a conductor depends: first on its length, second on its cross section area, third on the nature of material. Now resistance R is directly proportional to L. R is inversely proportional to the area, cross section area. So we get the relation R is directly proportional to L by A. R is equal to rho L by A, where rho is a proportionality constant known as resistivity of a material of conductor. Now resistivity, the resistance offered by a wire of unit length and unit cross sectional area is called resistivity. Its SI unit is ohm meter. Since R is equal to rho L by A, therefore rho is equal to RA by L, which is equal to resistance, unit of resistance is ohm, area is meter square and length is m, so mm cancel and we get SI unit of resistivity, that is ohm meter. For a material irrespective of length and area, the resistivity is a constant. Okay. Now resistivity of a material varies with temperature. You need to remember this. Resistivity is the measure of resistance of a material. In other words, up to what the material resists current flow. Now resistivity of an alloy, that is homogeneous mixture of metal, is generally higher than that of its constituent metals. Example, Constantan alloy of Cu, copper and nickel. Alloy have high resistivity and do not oxidize or burn readily at high temperature. For this reason they are commonly used in electrical heating devices like electrical iron heater, toasters, etc. For example, tungsten as filament of electric bulb. Now resistance of a system of resistors. So there are two systems, that is resistance in series and resistance in parallel. So we will derive the relation of both series and parallel. Okay. Now let us take three conductor resistor of resistance R1, R2 and R3 that are connected in series as shown in the circuit. So you can see that three resistors R1, R2, R3 are connected in series end to end, and V1, V2 and V3 are their potential difference. So here current remain constant and potential varies, that is V1, V2 and V3. So according to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR, the current flowing through the resistance in series will remain same, whereas the potential difference across each resistor will vary or will be different. V is equal to IR, V1 is equal to IR1, V2 is equal to IR2, V3 is equal to IR3. Therefore total potential V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Therefore we get relation in series, that is total resistance RS is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Thus we conclude that effective resistance of the several resistor joined in series is equal to the algebraic sum of the individual resistance. Also, the net resistance increase when resistors are connected in series. Now, resistance in parallel, that is minimum effective resistance. Let us take three resistors of resistance that are connected parallel in the circuit. So you can see circuit R1, R2 and R3 are connected. A key is there, battery is there, a voltmeter is connected in parallel. Also, current divides into I1, I2 and I3. Okay, now we know I1 is equal to V upon R1 according to Ohm's law, I2 is equal to V upon R2, I3 is equal to V upon R3. In the given parallel circuit, voltage remain constant and I varies, so total current is I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Now substitute the value of I1, I2 and I3 in the equation, we get V upon R is equal to V 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Thus we conclude that the reciprocal of total effective resistance of the several resistors connected in parallel is equal to the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistance. Also, the net resistance reduces when resistors are connected in parallel. Okay.
Yeah.